British people living in the North American colonies did not care whether Britain levied a tea tax or lowered the price of tea, because they were drinking tea smuggled from the Netherlands. It was at this time that the Boston Tea Party happened. What's strange is that they don't buy English tea, but the price of English tea has gone down. Why did the Boston Tea Party happen? Some demagogues are trying to capitalize on the fact that protests before tax reform were useful. They think that they want to become politicians using this. These politicians agitate the colonists. Everyone, the black tea is from the Netherlands, are you eating well? That is not important. Why are those small British island nations interfering with us, who do not guarantee the sovereignty and rights of North American colonists? They just agitated the residents, saying they didn't like the British government interfering. A group of people who wanted to put on a political show took back money and went to the Boston Harbor to throw tea boxes into the sea. Disguise yourself as a Native American in Boston Harbor and cause the Boston Tea Party. In response, the British government orders to block Boston Harbor and capture all the protesters. There were two main people who caused this incident. They are John Hancock and Samuel Adams. Samuel Adams had been arguing for a coup 10 years before this incident. He was a man who advocated separation and independence from the British government. He is the kind of person who wanted protests to happen big because he wanted to be a politician himself. His family had been a self-governmental family in the North American colonies since the mid-1700s. The next person, John Hancock, was a black tea smuggler. When he heard that English tea was coming in cheaply, he felt a crisis and planned the Boston Tea Party with Samuel Adams. Incidentally, John Hancock was the first person to sign the American Declaration of Independence. As these two plan, the British government puts pressure on the colonists, blocks the Boston port, blocks all exports and imports, dissolves the local councils of the North American colonies, and dispatches additional British troops. At this time, the book Common Sense written by Thomas Paine was popular in the North American colonies. The British who lived in the North American colonies affected by this book strongly thought that they should divide from England. In this trend, influential people in the United States gather and really start talking about independence. John Adams, Samuel Adams, John Hancock, Samuel Huntington, Benjamin Franklin, Thomas Jefferson, George Washington. They hoped that a really good country would be created, and there were people who had hope, but a large number of people gathered for their own interests. This is the First and Second Continental Congress. The British government heard this news and suppressed it even more strongly. Then, in the Lexington, Massachusetts area, a British government gun shot and killed a resident. As a result, politicians instigate the residents and the American Revolutionary War begins in earnest. In other words, British people living in British colonies staged a coup against the British mainland. With the beginning of the American Revolutionary War, the Declaration of Independence was issued in earnest. If you look at this picture, people are gathering and signing. Seeing this, ordinary people would think that they signed the Declaration of Independence with a noble heart. But this signature is to prevent them from betraying each other. Occupying all of the territory of this vast colony seemed unreasonable at the time. It was a situation where Britain could reoccupy independent territories at any time, and it was not strange to betray each state after weighing the gains and losses. For this reason, it was necessary to write a memorandum to thoroughly prevent betrayal. From 1775 to 1783, the war between the British and the American founding powers lasted. The British attack was devastating, but the British in the colonies also fought for their lives, but the situation was not good. At this time, France suddenly gives tremendous support to the American independent forces. France has never been friendly with England. Previously, such as the French Indian War and the 7 Years' War, France had never been friendly with Britain until this time. In other words, these two countries on the European mainland do not get along, but if the British colony is cut in half, it is a blessing for the French state. In the beginning, France did not send troops directly to the independent forces in North America, but only provided war materials, but it was difficult for them to defeat the British regular army. Then they send diplomats to all parts of Europe that don't get along well with Britain. To name a few countries that supported the American independent forces militarily at this time, there are France, which has traditionally not been on good terms with Britain due to colonial ties, the Netherlands, which caused friction over colonization in Southeast Asia, and Spain, which competed for maritime hegemony in the Atlantic Ocean. By the way, many native tribes are on the British side and help the British. The British government was bad for the native tribes, but they thought it would be against them if the American founding powers founded the United States. It was judged that it would be better to remain under the control of the British government. In any case, The founding forces of the United States defeat the British Empire's army. Of course, there was support from other countries, but how did you beat the army of the British Empire, which was incredibly powerful at the time? What we overlooked is the power of Mother Nature. If you liked the video, hit the like and subscribe button. Thank you for watching.